adoption of the agenda.
All second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain? That passes unanimously. Any council member announcements? Okay.
I just want to announce there will be another picnic with a vet in August. It will be a hopefully outdoor picnic, this time with higher care and independent living residents. It will be a traditional picnic, not bowling with the vets, but it will be on Wednesday, August the 5th at 11 a.m. And you can contact Irene Jenny at 925-899-9708. You can either text her or call her to say you'd like to participate. We need a lot of residents from down here to commune with the residents up there. We're planning to have at least 40 residents from each side of 29. So we hope that everybody will participate. If you'd rather email, you could email Irene Jenny at Jenny, JENNYS, that's she and her husband, RUS, like Toys R Us, at att.net. So we hope that everybody will think about that and come and join us for a lot of fun. Thanks.
Yes, Councilmember McKee.
Thank you. It's a new month, and we have a new food in need at the Barrel that's located at the community center. Thanks to Stacy for helping me organize this. But the item that the Napa Valley Food Bank has asked for this month is beans. So whether canned or dried, please make your donations for healthy foods for families. Thank you.
Any other council announcements? Okay, we have a proclamation today. Maybe if Sam could come up to the microphone. This is a proclamation celebrating July as Parks and Recreation Month. I'm reading it up here because I twisted my knee, so I'm just saving my knee. This is a proclamation in recognition of Parks and Recreation Month. Whereas parks and recreation are an integral part of communities throughout this country and here in Yountville. Yountville promotes and improves the health and wellness of all who use our 10 parks, 3 miles of paths, and the Yountville Community Center and Commons, and who participates in recreational events, sports, and fitness activities designed to promote active lifestyles. Parks and recreations promotes time spent in nature, which positively impacts mental health by increasing cognitive performance and well-being and alleviating illnesses such as depression, attention deficit disorders, and Alzheimer's. Whereas Parks and Recreation programming and education activities such as Camp Yville, youth sports, and the 9 weeks of summer fun are critical to childhood development and provide much-needed child care options when school is not in session. The Yountville Parks and Recreation Department increases our community's economic prosperity through increased tourism and by providing gathering spaces that build strong social connections. Whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature, our parks and recreation spaces serve as essential, adaptable infrastructure that makes the Yountville community resilient in the face of natural disasters such as extreme weather. The Town of Yountville staff and volunteers take great pride in our programs and facilities, using prudent planning and striving for a high level of maintenance for all of our parks, paths, and community spaces. Whereas the Yountville Parks and Recreation Department increases our community's economic prosperity through increased tourism and provides gathering spaces that build strong social connections, and whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month, and the Town of Yountville recognizes the vital benefits derived from these exceptional parks and recreation resources. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that I, Margie Moeller, Mayor of the Town of Yountville, along with the Town Council, do hereby proclaim July as Parks and Recreation Month in the town of Yountville and encourage all residents and visitors to take full advantage of our local parks, natural spaces, events, and programs this July and throughout the year. And thank you, Sam, and your department. Everything you do for us, so
Thank
please.
you. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for this proclamation. And although we are the department who gets to be here and accept it, and it's called Parks and Recreation Month, we absolutely could not do what we do without our team and partners in our other departments. We, of course, work so closely with our Public Works Department, who maintains and keeps all of our parks facilities, trails looking so amazing, and they support us on a daily basis in our parks in rec programming. And then, of course, our support departments with the admin services and, writing the checks and letting us use money on the credit card, and clerk and communications and planning and building. And of course, for their support, we get to do the work that we get to do in our community. I'd also like to acknowledge our Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission and commissioners I see here in the audience, both past and present, and their helpful guidance on helping us make decisions on what we do here for parks and recreation. I know I speak for my team when I say how grateful we are to serve the community. Yountville is a very special place, and we get to come to work every day to contribute to the happiness of our residents and our workforce, and then, of course, our visitors get to enjoy it too. So joining me today is Recreation Supervisor Garrett Cooley. You can wave. You can stand. Stand. Our Administrative Assistant, Stacy Diaz. And two of our recreation coordinators, Rose Lopez and Caitlin Huss. Thanks for being here. So from our full-time team not here today is Taylor Solis. She's with 80 of our campers visiting the Calistoga's beautiful recreation facility pool there. And I really love to share that 3 of our full-time staff members were originally hired as part-time seasonal staff here for the town of Yountville. Taylor, Rose, and Garrett all started here part-time. And I think it's really a wonderful thing to say that I believe it says a lot about the kind of department we have and the kind of team we have here in the town of Yountville, that they chose to make this their full-time career choice of place to work, and I'm really grateful for that. And Stacy predates me. She's been here almost 18 years, 20 years. Sorry, I was a little off on that. And Caitlin, of course, we stole from, business owner up north that we won't name. But I have an amazing team of people that help support everything that we do here today. And we absolutely could not do what we do level of programming and events-wise without our amazing part-time and seasonal team. Right now it's summer, so we have over 40 part-time and seasonal staff on, which takes a lot of management from our HR department to, us and supervising and making sure that all goes smoothly, and they support us. Then we have a team of about 15 that supports us year-round with classes and events. And we're really grateful for them. You have one of them running the TVs right here in the back room, Dan. Very diverse group of people, and some have come from backgrounds and live here in our community as retired, but come on and work with us, and it's just a terrific way to continue having great people in those positions. So I just want to wrap up by, again, thanking the council and then inviting the community to join us this Friday from 1 to 3 at the community center. We're having a free ice cream social out front. We have an amazing DJ from the Veterans Home coming to spin some tunes. I forget his name. What's his name? Wes. Wes does the music at their baseball games, and he called us, and so we're really excited to work with him. Again, that's this Friday from 1 to 3 at the community center, so we'd love to see everybody come out. And again, thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Would it be possible just to get a quick photo with Director Holland and the staff members that are here? If you want to walk up to the
Yeah, maybe you
dais.
can just walk up and stand up in front of us here. Yeah. Yeah. I got 2 arms here. That's okay. We can all stand here. Yeah. You guys can stand in front of us, because we're taller back here, so you can fill in. There you go.
There we go. Happy birthday.
Yay, Parks and Rec month. Yay. We need to have sound in there. Oh, thank you. Perfect. Next is public comment. This is public comment that is on anything that's not on today's agenda. So if anybody would like to come up and address the council. I think the mic is on. You might want to check it.
I think so.
Yep,
Yeah.
good.
Good afternoon. Real quick, I want to reiterate what you said in your proclamation about Parks and Recreation Department. But I don't think enough can be said to thank Samantha Holland for all that she brings to the town. Pretty much everything we have come to love about Yountville, Samantha has either brought to town, created, or supported in town. Having worked on several commissions, she is just priceless. Her positivity, her supportive leadership is based on kindness and is not ego-driven. She is epitome of who we should all try to be, and Yountville is so lucky to have her. So thank you.
Thank you. Nobody else wants to address the council? Then I will. Oh.
Good afternoon, members of the council, Mayor Moeller, members of the audience, Joe Tagliabashi, Town of Yountville resident. I come to you today to second what Ms. Cook said about Samantha and her staff. They're amazing. We're very lucky to have them. Thank you to the council for providing the resources to help them be successful, but without vision and leadership, it probably wouldn't be nearly as successful as it is today. So thank you to Sam and the staff. Oh, they left. They got to go back to work. So I will pass that along to them, and it's all well-deserved. I come today out of concern for, I've been watching the meetings now for several months at home. I've noticed that we have quite a crowd here, which is kind of nice to see in my time at the council. And as Public Works Director, we were lucky to see 1 or 2 people at a meeting, so it's nice to see people become more involved. That means people are interested. Sometimes that makes staff and the council work a little tougher and the town managers work a little tougher, but I think that's part of the job, and I celebrate people coming to these meetings. I'm at today's meeting to talk about the tone and tenor of the council with each other and members of this community. It's concerning to me. A lot of you ran on having a better communication effort, being more inclusive, and I just haven't noticed that over the last several months. Unfortunately, it's been the antithesis of that, and I had hoped for better from all of you. I know we can do better to diminish either people who haven't been here very long, as if that matters, or to say that it's a minority of people that are making these comments, as if that matters. I think it's important to note on our 250th anniversary of our country that 56 people signed the Declaration of Independence, certainly not a majority. So I think that we should all kind of nod to that and realize that minorities are what makes this country great, right? It helps us build the majority, and I think the saying from an acorn a mighty oak grows says a lot about minorities and the strength that minority can gather and the effect they can have on a bigger majority. So I hope that happens here. I'm concerned about the transparency or the lack of it. Even though we did publish a very long list of vendors, that has more questions than answers for me as somebody who's involved in budgets. I think we need to know more about how some of those contracts were let and the negotiations around them. I personally do. I'm really concerned about the former town manager's agreement, having served in public service for better than 20 years in the private side in construction for probably almost that long. When you leave a job, you didn't usually get 4 months or more of pay to go along with it. And the fact that we haven't really heard what that agreement is really concerning to me and to others in this town. It either means that you're hoping that we forget that there's still an agreement out there somewhere, or that you're going to try to bury it. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of trust in the community right now. 4 months seemed like it was overly generous. Anything more than that, and the silence speaks volumes, that agreement is so egregious that none of you want to own it. And that's a shame. That person doesn't deserve 1 day more than his employment agreement allows him. When you leave a job, if that's what he did, then you leave with what you got. We shouldn't be offering him additional compensation. Why? He didn't do much for us. He left all of this in tatters. He divided this community. He came here with questions about how he conducted himself at National City. He did the same thing here. Shame on us for not being more transparent on that, and I hope that you all be more transparent going forward with that and the other items that we're concerned about. I'm also here to announce today that I intend to run for mayor in the upcoming election, and I hope that, thank you, I hope that we can discuss the differences and the similarities that we have, and I hope that whoever is the next mayor, they can work on getting this community back together and being more kind and thoughtful to each other and a little more considerate and open. Thank you.
Would anybody else like to come up and address the council?
Yeah, my name is Stephen Becker, and I have a simple question for all of you. Why is it that you remain mute and sphinx-like up here? The previous speaker just raised some important issues. Why are you not commenting? Each one of you, why are you not commenting? What do you think that conveys when you choose not to comment? So please, all of you, consider this a pleasant feat to the fire. Why don't you comment?
Maybe I could ask our town attorney first to explain some of the rules that we are required to live by with the Brown Act and address that we can make basic comments, please. And I think it would really kind of help everybody. We're not doing sitting here because we don't have opinions and because we don't care, but a lot of the stuff that comes up at public comment is not on the agenda. And it's, I'll turn it over to the attorney. I think he can probably explain best the rules that we live by once we're elected.
Yeah, sure, happy to. So this is general public comment, so it does allow anyone to come and speak for up to 5 minutes. That's what the council has chosen. It used to be 3. This council moved it to 5 to ensure there was more time for public comment. And during that general public comment, any member of the public can talk about anything within the subject matter jurisdiction of the town. And so anything that you have the power to take action on, or that's appeared on an agenda, or that's within your jurisdiction. So it's pretty broad, but it's not unlimited on what that topic is. The Brown Act also says that you cannot discuss or take action on things that are not on your agenda. The reason for that is so that all members of the public who are interested in a topic would be able to know that you're going to talk about it in advance so that you could be here to hear that discussion. So if, for example, the council were to have a long discussion about the first topic that was discussed here, anyone else in this community who was interested in hearing about it would know that that discussion was happening, wouldn't have a chance to participate or give public comment. So the state legislature that imposes these rules has decided that it is more important that everyone have notice of a discussion before it happens instead of having your ability to respond in real time. So the Brown Act, though, does allow you to respond briefly or refer matters to staff. And as anyone who's been attending these meetings over the last few months knows, sometimes council members do respond briefly to public comment or refer items over to staff. But those are the constraints on the general public comment.
All right. I'm not sure that's satisfactory to everybody. I'm not sure it's always satisfactory to those of us that sit on the dais, but those are the rules that we live by in the state. and they are designed for fairness. So if I think that we are all, I know all of us council members are open to any kind of phone calls, emails that you want to send to us and talk to us, but, you know, and having debates on something that's not on the agenda is something that is very limited, and we just really can't have, and that's why sometimes we have special sessions or workshops where we have something that is a more open topic, but it is always on the agenda. So I kind of hope that helps. Does anybody else like to? Yes, Councilmember Tripp.
Perhaps Attorney Bell, you could also speak to the fact that someone, Mr. Tagliabashi, was referencing the former town manager's employment status. There are a number of rules which I understand to be quite serious about what can be discussed after closed sessions, and that was a matter that was discussed in a closed session. And while it's, as a council member, somewhat difficult, it is something that certainly I think all of us try to observe the rules, because as you pointed out, the Brown Act has some teeth. I don't know what they are exactly, but I don't want to get bitten regardless, whether it's money or sanctions of some sort. So perhaps you could just also review why, or not even why, but just how the Brown Act in closed sessions works and the limitations on public discussion of some of the issues by council members.
Sure. So the Brown Act provides a very limited number of reasons for going into closed session. There's only a handful of them. One of them is for personnel or employment or appointment. And for personnel matters or employment or appointment, those involve things that there are other protections in state law for privacy regarding personnel. That's true for records that are here. And that's true for all employees. It's not just the town manager. It happens to be an employee, but it's for all of your employees too. Any personnel matter involving any of them would be subject to the same sort of confidentiality. So the Brown Act makes it very clear that any discussion in closed session and any document that's provided to you in closed session must remain confidential and cannot be disclosed to any member of the public. And that is to ensure that those discussions and those decisions, which are very limited and very prescribed by state law, remain confidential in closed session.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to come up and address the council? Yes, please, come on up.
Madam Mayor and council members, I'm a newbie.
Can you put the microphone a little bit down?
We've only been here 13 months and lived in the Bay Area for 60 years and part-time in Napa for 20 years. We love this place. It's really great. But it's unbelievable how much controversy there is and how little factual information about what the heck is going on. I've chaired more than 4 or 5 corporate events and council meetings. One of the things I'd urge you to think about, not only for your longevity if you wish to rerun, but nobody's really sure what's going on here. I urge you, I think you know what I mean by an executive summary. So limit it to a 1-page or 2 pages at the most. Tell us 3 things. What have you done the past year? What have been the bad things that have happened? And what are your plans for 2027? Because nobody knows what's going on. So I thank you for all the work you put in. These kinds of jobs are thankless, but somebody's got to do them. And I urge you to get some information out, because there's a tremendous amount of uncertainty about what is going on and what have you done. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was only 1 minute.
Sir, may I get your name for the record, please?
Yes.
I'm Rick Oken, O-K-E-N.
Thank you.
May I please?
Yes.
Mr. Voken, may I ask, are you on our community mailing list at this time? It's not the 1-page summary you're looking for, but it is informative. And then I was going to ask our communications clerk, I believe you're working on a newsletter that will be going out in the coming month or months. So, but I want to make sure that are you on email?
I'm on email. I don't know whether I'm on your list. I'm on the Chamber of Commerce for the last year.
Okay, we have a
Business-
town of Yountville, so we'll
Okay.
make sure that you get
Well,
on
maybe
that.
she can forward it to me.
That'll help.
But I
We will
think you need to
connect.
be clear and concise, because when 5-pagers and 7-pagers are going out with the other side of the story, your side's unknown.
Where are those pages going out that you're seeing? With the newspaper closed, at least I understand temporarily, we're
Things
not
that are
getting that news either.
dropped on my doorstep and sent to me by email. Okay?
Okay. You're
Any
on.
other questions?
No, but thank you for your
you.
suggestions.
Anybody else like to come up and address the council? If not, I will go ahead and close public comment. Next is the consent calendar. We have 7 items on the consent calendar.
Mayor,
Yes, Vice Mayor.
I just want to inform the rest of the council that I will be recusing myself from item G of the consent calendar
All right.
because of proximity of where I live next to the project.
Okay. Thank you with that. So first, let me go ahead and ask for a motion and a second. And it's for all of the items A through G.
I move that we consent and adopt all of the items A through G, and I do have a comment afterwards.
Okay. I'll go ahead and second that. And so is there any public comment on any items on our consent calendar? Seeing none, I will close that and ask for a roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Councilmember McKee?
Yes.
Councilmember Tripp?
Yes.
Mayor Moeller?
Yes.
And we will note for the record Vice Mayor's recusal. Well, you will still need to vote on the remaining part, so
On all of them but G.
thank you.
All right. So that, we have the votes for that.
We had a quorum. The vote is clocked for that. Thank you.
Okay. And Councilmember McKee, you have a comment?
Thank you. So one of the items on the calendar was about trainings that our public works staff underwent, and so I want to call that to everybody's attention and thank our Administrative Services Director, Celia King, and of course our Human Resources Analyst for conducting a comprehensive review to update the town's safety programs, including an injury and illness prevention, heat illness prevention, and our workplace violence plan. Some of these plans hadn't been updated in quite some time, so assigning trainings will now satisfy new state legislation and compliance requirements. In fact, we all commit to hours of mandatory training and testing that addresses financial, ethical, workplace violence, and sexual harassment to satisfy state mandates. And the staff recently underwent injury and illness prevention, which serves as the town's foundation for workplace safety programs. It establishes procedures for identifying hazards, conducting safety inspections, and investigating accidents and near misses. It corrects unsafe conditions and provides employee training and maintains safety records. The updated programs aligns with current Cal OSHA requirements and clearly defines responsibilities for management, supervisors, employees, and the risk manager. And all important right now, heat illness prevention plan. It addresses state-adopted outdoor as well as indoor heat illness requirements. It clarified supervisor responsibilities and employee trainings requirements, and it establishes procedures for drinking water, shade, cool-down areas, temperature monitoring, emergency response, and high heat operations. And lastly, the Workplace Violence Plan, Senate Bill 553, created new requirements for employers to establish and maintain such a plan to provide a comprehensive framework for preventing, identifying, reporting, and responding to workplace violent incidents. So I want to thank the administrators as well as all of the public works staff that underwent all of this testing. Because your cooperation makes our town safer, compliant with mandates, and I'm sure it helps in our fiscal responsibility with insurance as well. So good job, team.
All right. We have no guest presentations or public hearings. We had We did have one administrative item, but by passing consent item G, we no longer need that to discuss that item because that was taken care of within the context of that item. If we had not passed consent item G, we would have had to ask for an extension on one of the aspects of item G, but it was passed, so we do no longer have to do that. So we're moving on to staff presentations and information reports. Town manager.
Thank you, Mayor Moeller, council members. We have a couple of quick announcements for you. One, I wanted to start with at the July 21st council meeting, staff will be presenting information on housing and housing requirements. This presentation is the next in the series of information the council has asked for in response to comments from the public related to the Commons project. So that will be on the 21st.
All right, great, thank you.
To follow up, I just wanted to announce the nomination period, which will open on Monday, July the 13th, and run to August the 7th, unless an incumbent does not file. The clerk's office is currently accepting appointments for candidates to pull the nomination papers starting on Monday. Information is available on the town's website. There's a button on the homepage that says Elections 2026 if you wish to find more information about deadlines and opportunities there.
Okay, great, thanks. Other department? Yes, Celia.
Just also mentioning on the website, there is the hot button at the top for the recruitment, the town manager recruitment engagement opportunities. Those are coming up, I think, on the 13th, Monday, July 13th at 4:30 at the Yountville Community Center. And then a second one, I think, from Hillary's at 1 to 5. And
there are 2 listening sessions, the first
Yes.
one being for the business community, and that goes from 2:30 till 3:30. And a session for community members is scheduled for 4 until 5 p.m., I believe. You'll need to check the website. Now I'm confusing myself. But both are open to anybody who would like to attend. There are also additional engagement opportunities where community members may email the recruiter directly with any thoughts, sentiments, concerns, comments, as well as an online survey.
And just to make a reference to the discussion we had about the Brown Act earlier, if people see that all 5 council members are not at these meetings, it's because only 2 can attend. So it's not because we are not interested. I'm sure all 5 of us would like to be at both sessions, but we cannot by state law. So any other staff? Nope. To planning and building, yes.
Before we move away, I want to confirm the times as to not add any confusion. The business listening session will be from 2 until 3 p.m., and the community member listening session will be from 4:30 till 5:30 p.m.
In the community center. Yes. Can you come up to the microphone, please?
I'm just not sure where you said Julie Worthington.
Thank you.
Where can we answer that survey?
The survey is available if you visit the town's homepage. At the top, in fact, I'll bring this over so we can all see it here. I have special clerk powers. And so on the homepage, any page that you're on the website, you'll see this banner at the top. And if you press read on, it will give you more descriptions here. At the very bottom, there's a hyperlink. And here you will find the survey. I can also email you this information if that's easier for you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that tutorial. I find it very difficult to find what I'm looking for on the town website. Very difficult. And often things are outdated. So whatever you can do to simplify things, I think I've got this one thing. Thank you very much.
Well, Julie, I'm excited to announce that we are undergoing a website refresh and we'll have an exciting product to unveil soon. Thank you.
Feel free to always give the town a call. They're here to help. So any other council external meeting reports? I've got an old one. Every time I got something yellow in here, I know. I went to flood control. I went to flood control on June the 9th. We Just a quick update. We are starting construction on the third phase of the flood control, and right now down in Napa, and we are 35% done with the design of the final phase, and that we are working right now on mitigating a lot of public concerns with the initial design that's partway done. Also, we had a public hearing on our budget, and just to update everybody, the annual budget is almost $93 million. $38 million comes from Measure A. That was all on our property taxes. It's now been sunsetted, but the money's been banked. We have another $38 million that comes from the federal government in matching funds. And then we have an additional $4 million of our appropriations that goes to the watersheds, including the watershed that goes into Rector Reservoir. So that's the update on flood control. I'll be going, my next meeting is next Tuesday. So any other council member meetings or reports? Vice Mayor.
I just have a short report about the Napa Valley Transit Authority. There is a new program being floated. I think there was a pilot program in Napa where anyone 65 and over could get a card from Napa Valley Transit Authority that was loaded with a certain amount of money, and then the person who received the card loaded it with an equal amount, and then if you were in need of a ride that was not on a fixed route bus line and was maybe at a wrong time or something, you could use this card to get a ride from Lyft or Uber. So that has now been extended up Valley. So pretty much everyone in Yountville is maybe qualified to get this card. All you have to do is call them up. You just have to say what your birth date is, and you will get a card from them to do this kind of a transit opportunity.
But there are some limitations. You have to be going to a doctor's appointment. No, they're not at all. We have to be 65.
You have to be 65, but
Yeah.
there isn't a limitation on where you go with this card.
Oh, okay, great. That's
Pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. All right, thank you for that. So any other meeting reports? If not, I would like to request a motion to adjourn today's meeting until our next meeting, which will be Tuesday, July the 21st at 3 o'clock.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstain? Okay, that's a wrap, folks. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.